we get on here and we talk about sports all the time, and we know how important things are in sports, and especially in the college game, the traditions that we see, the naming of the courts, the naming of stadiums, statues that are built. And there's an interesting situation going on right now at LSU. And to give a little background and context, me and you were talking about this yesterday, and I'm going to let you kind of push the ship down the river here, or down the ocean, depending on how big the ship is. But when you look at the Dale Brown court situation, I just want you to tell people when the court was named after Dale Brown and kind of the situation that's going on right now, because it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, let me begin just saying chronologically, okay, the events that took place. And I also need to say, full disclosure, I owe much of my success, my career success, to Dale Brown, and in large measure, life success to Dale Brown. In 1985, when I started at ESPN, I hope you can see this. This is a picture of the great Jim. That's the great Jim Simpson, who was the lead voice of ESPN at the time. I had just worked my first game with Dick Vitale, and that was my daughter, Tiffany, at 2 years of age. Well, she's 40 now, and has two children that live a little less than a mile from us. Our family loves Dale Brown. So, full disclosure, I am biased on this. And I was the handful. I made up the handful of people that worked for about a decade on this because we just thought it needed to be done. He's a guy that, in the history of LSU basketball, has won more games than anybody. He beat Kentucky 18 times. That's more than any coach ever beat Kentucky, SEC and beyond. He won 448 games. He went to 2 Elite Eights, 2 Final Fours, 13 consecutive NCAAs, and at one point was the National Coach of the Year in 1981 with a team that won 31 games. Now, this had never happened at LSU, consistently sustained success in its history. Bob Pettit had his moments in the 50s. Pistol Pete got to the NIT quarterfinals in 1970. He never played in an NCAA tournament.
Wow.
But Maravich was the all-time leading scorer in college basketball. But when his father was fired, Dale came in and turned the program up to another notch and made it nationally significant from really 1978 all the way through 93. And of course, those years included some outstanding players. And he graduated 114 of his 160 kids. So his record certainly stands up with just about anybody else's that has their name on the floor that were iconic figures at their schools. And by the way, these people in my home state, especially those, and I hate to say it, Jay, but guys that fall into your age category that can buy a website and get on YouTube and start cranking out whatever they want, will say, well, he never won a national title, so, well, that's not what it's about. The naming of the court has nothing to do with that. Gene Cady won 6 Big Ten titles, never went to a Final Four. Never went to a Final Four. The name is, at Mackey Arena, the floor is named after Gene Cady. So all of that stuff, let's just put that aside, okay? Dale's consistent work beyond just basketball, okay, but shining light on other people's lives and being the only coach of his era, okay, that discussed player rights and took on the NCAA, called them Gestapo bastards. Look it up, okay? There wouldn't be an NIL today if not for some of the things that Dale Brown talked about, which of course pissed off a lot of his colleagues that were in coaching at that time. He was a forerunner for everything progressive, okay? He was the first and only, okay, white member of the NAACP. He told David Duke when Shaquille O'Neal was playing, don't come to this LSU basketball game, because if you do, I'm taking my players off the floor. Okay, so Dale was progressive at a time when it was not popular to be progressive. Now he's grown and aged, and I believe his political lean is a little bit more conservative now than it was then. But
we're in a different time and a different time and space right now than back then. But
the people that are going against, the people that are operating against him now, they haven't looked up any of this information, evidently, because if they did, they would know how wrong they are in saying that nothing should be named after an old white man on the campus of LSU due to the political climate of the day.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here. Don't tell me Don't tell me that what I saw on January 4th, 2022 at the dedication did not happen, because it did. And the president of the school, an African-American man named William Tate, was all in. There are pictures of him clapping right behind Dale as he's holding up a piece of the court. Collis Temple, who is by Bonnie Brown's side, hugging her, the first black player that LSU ever had. And it's Collis that called Dale his second father. Okay, these two men called Dale on his birthday, Halloween this year, and had him go to TJ Ribs for a lunch where it had already been planned that they were going to try to get Dale, coerce Dale, into being the lead pony on changing the name from Dale Brown Court to Gunter Brown Court.
So
now,
hold on.
Can you believe that?
Hold on, Timmy B.
In that position. Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
The guy who built LSU basketball. Number one, I want to go and say, for anybody out there that says he didn't win you have to win a national championship to be able to name the court. Well, if that's the case, then LSU's court should just be called Court, because they've never won a national championship in men's basketball. Right. The second thing, you decided to ambush the guy who built LSU basketball, a leader in the civil rights movement, a guy who helped build LSU women's basketball by giving money out of his foundation so they could have scholarships for players. You're going to ambush an 87-year-old man on his birthday that you want to put his name behind Sue Gunter's name, who, by the way, Sue Gunter never won a national championship, never won the SEC, never went to the Final Four. She was huge in LSU women's basketball, which is rocking and rolling right now. Had coached in the Olympics. She's a great coach. But my question, Timmy B, is, so basically the crux of this thing is, you have this legend in Dale Brown that you dedicate the name of the court. You name the court. You have a dedication in 2021, January 4th, like you said, a dedication where everybody's
22,
there.
Actually,
22. A dedication where everybody's there. It is Dale Brown Court. Now, fast forward to 2023, and now they want to call it Sue Gunter and Dale Brown Court, add Sue Gunter's name to Dale Brown Court, when Sue Gunter already has a statue outside of the arena?
Correct.
Why does she get double the praise for not winning half of the stuff?
Well, it's actually inside the arena, but because it's just the time that we're in. Listen, God bless Sue. She's been gone for almost 20 years. I think she passed away in 2005. And she was very close to Dale. Dale helped her get that program rolling. And that's the saddest part about this. Why use her? How dare they use her? Who, I'm sure, what would she be thinking if she were here? They were very close. They worked just down the hall from one another. And you mentioned players. Joyce Walker was one of the great players of that time. She did not finish her education, came back, and when she did, Dale's foundation helped fund the remaining period of her education. This kind of thing went on for a long, long time. It's not about Sue. It's not about Sue versus Dale. This is about bestowing upon someone the honor of having the court named after him. And by the way, he had no statue. Shaq did. Sue Gunter did. Hers is inside the PMAC. This was really the first true honor that the institution had given to Coach Brown. And here he is at the time, 86 years old. And so at 87 on his birthday, you do this to him. It's just out of control. And for what? Why are they doing it? Okay, I'll tell you why they're doing it. Okay, because the daughter of a politician who passed away within the last couple of years, Buddy Leach, his daughter, Mary Werner, who served on the board, was actually chairman of the board back in 2021 during the COVID period. I came and spoke before the board on a couple of occasions, including then. I mean, listen, I've been around her, engaging lady, have no problem with her, but I do have a problem with what she's doing here. Mary Me Too Werner is now going to continue to go after this because she knows she's got a political in with her cheese. Her father passed away. He's worth billions. They were great donors to LSU for many, many years. And she's using that hook on the governor, John Bell Edwards, a West Point graduate, by the way, and a Blue Dog Democrat that I voted for because I didn't think the Republicans had a quality candidate. But that being said, she goes to him and says, this is wrong. We got to do this. We got to get this fixed. So he then calls at least 5, maybe even more, board members to come to his to his mansion for lunch. All right. And basically tells them, okay, because they are appointed, board members are appointed by the governor. It's always been that way. It's that way in most states. We got to change this as they're having their shrimp etouffee. He's telling them we got to change this. So we're going to get this on the docket this coming Friday, February the 10th. And when the board voted 12-3 back in September 10th of 2021, Mary Warner put up to opposition the vote on Dale Brown Court. She raised the motion to change that to Gunter Brown Court at that time. It was voted down by the same board that's in place today, 12-3. 12-3. But that board's going to get together again this Friday, and they're going to flip. And they're going to flip because they're appointed by the governor. And the governor will be out. Okay, he's got term limitations. He'll be out soon.
Yeah, it's still matter to him.
When the new board comes in, the Republican governor, and it will be a Republican governor, he'll put in his own board. So he'll be gone. The board will be gone. And I guarantee you, President Tate, who is without question a hypocrite, all you need to do is know and see the pictures to prove how all in he was on Dale Brown Court. He'll be gone too. Why? Because he's just building a resume, probably to go to an Ivy League school. Yeah. So who's left holding this kind of embarrassment? Dale Brown. How dare Louisiana and LSU do this to them? And this is so typical my state. Listen, I have great pride, as you know, in where I'm from. I love Louisiana. And I think all of us, because we love Louisiana, and my association with LSU as a broadcaster helped me get where I am today. And that was due in larger measure to Dale Brown. So that's why I'm calling these people out. I'm pissed off. And it's time other people get pissed off. Shaq, I've texted you. Where are you? Make the calls. Do it now. We've got other people that are in power that can do something about this and stop it. If he is like a surrogate father, if he is like someone, Collis Temple, okay? Collis Temple, who was really the leader within this board that helped us along the way, the half dozen or so of us that worked for years on this. We listened to Collis. We went through the protocols the way it needed to be done. Collis was, he champions Dale Brown all the time. He's done nothing but good for LSU and Louisiana for all these years. How he could have taken that president to lunch with Coach Brown, knowing full well what was about to be asked, is beyond me.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't talked. I mean, basically everyone has been politically coerced into doing what Mary Me Too Warner wants to have done. This is one woman that was pissed because she didn't get her way. I got billions. I'll hold it over the governor's head. The governor then will coerce everyone in back rooms. And he sends his spokesperson out this week to tell Matt Moscona, who does a wonderful job in the afternoons, that, it was the board that came to him.
Yeah, right. Idea. Come on. I was born at night, but not last night.
So the president of the school is a confirmed hypocrite, and the governor of the state is an outright liar.
Yeah, where we're from, what we say to people like that, say it with your chest. My thing is, it seems like Mary Werner's the same type of person that thinks women won World War II. But Timmy B, at the end of the day, it's sad for Dale Brown, but this just seems totally avoidable to me. Like, it seems like you have a statue of the lady inside the arena. You have the court named after Dale Brown. Why do you want double scoop of ice cream? Like, what did if Sue Gunter had won national championships and done all these things, I could understand a little bit more. But not when you don't make the Final Four. Or you don't even win the SEC. Yeah. You don't, and I don't mean to speak bad about Sue Gunter. I know she was a great coach, but don't you have to win your conference to be a great coach?
Tim, was there any talk about honoring both coaches with this dual naming of the court prior to Dale Brown's ceremony?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it was all just a response to the court going to be named after Dale Brown. See, that's
sure. In the board meeting that was held on September the 10th, and I spoke before the board a month before they had I was in the middle of football season. I was out at USC. But by the way, you can go to louisiana.gov this Friday to watch the proceedings. It's available streaming at LSU and see the kangaroo court in action. See Louisiana at its absolute worst. It pains me to have to say that, but that's what this is. This crap, fellas, has been going on since the Huey Long era, since the Great Depression. The names may change, but the results are always the same. Everyone outside my state will say to me, Tim, I know you're proud of that place, but my God, what a cesspool politically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're right. And I hate it when the pencil-headed geeks are right. So I'm going to have to point out when we're wrong so we can stop it. Help me help you.
Yeah.
Okay? Hey, Governor, wake the hell up. You lied. You look really bad here. And whatever Mary's money is going to do for you post-governorship, it's probably going to have to be in a private law practice. You're not going to win another seat in the political arena ever with this move. And the president, who seemed like a really congenial man, he was at a dinner the night before on January 3rd with us. He came in. He was so geeked to meet Mahmoud Abdul Rauf among all the different players that were there. And now you do this?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, it's time and time again, this has taken place. And I guess our people in our home state are just so conditioned to it that there's no problem with it. There's no problem with this because, hell, this crap's been going on since my father was on the planet, and he's been long gone. So it's okay. We're Louisiana. We suck. We're last in crime. We're last in education. Oh, we can throw a party. Football's pretty good every now and then. We've got some NCs there. This has got to stop. Yeah. This has got to stop.
Yeah, well, New Orleans has turned into Gotham City when you really look at it. We went down there recently. Yeah. I mean, you'll get your shoes taken out there too. But Timmy B, great stuff, man. Hopefully this gets ironed out. I know, like you said, it seems like that the writing's on the wall, and they kind of seem dug in on their decision because of the political moving and the money and the way it works. But I mean, this is a message that needs to be sent. We appreciate you taking some time.
Well, thank you. I hate having to do it.
Yeah,
I hate having to do it. I live here. I have
tough
family
love
here. But it's got to be done.
Yeah, it's
got to be done. And again, if you're from Louisiana and you happen to hear and see this, know the events, do a little homework, and call these board members and tell them, don't look like the fools that you are. If you do this, you're about to lose your position on the board when the new governor comes in anyway.
Yeah.
So don't make this mistake. Don't.
No, definitely. And look, we agree with you 100%. Hey, YouTube, appreciate you guys checking us out. Make sure you subscribe, turn that notification bell on, and hit that like button. We pump out content all the time, including on the weekends, every sport, professional, amateur, and obviously the Booster Club, the greatest grassroots movement since Miracle-Gro. Think about that, and it'll make sense.